Okay, so let's hope I fix it right now. I will double check my phone. Apologies for this inconvenience. It's all due to me having corona. I am simply stupid and cannot think straight. Let me check my own stream. Okay. Let's see if it actually works. Okay, so now I'm also keeping an eye on what's going on my own stream. Okay, so for all those who were simply listening to my audio podcast on this amazing quarterfinals game, since you could follow me describing the game, it's not like we missed any battles. It's just that we had some colonization going on, and right now we see the red-green team preparing for an attack on this desolate plant, and it's a perfect timing for our stream to actually work because we are having a really large scale attack from the green-red team. It looks like a red is going directly for bombing the planet so that he activates Savage Thrill, and yes, we have it, 19 DPS on those Javelin frigates. We see here Mathematico activating his Malice on enemy corvettes. We now see those two Marses moving out from the planet since they have already triggered the Savage Thrill. They no longer need to bomb it and they are now moving out for some safety. Okay, so in this battle we see that Proletariat is focusing one of the Marses. One of the Marses from that inside. It's already halfway down. Do we have no Savage Thrill on Proletariat ships yet, so he doesn't benefit from his own planet being bombed. And as we can see, that inside Marza is going out on 1600 hit points. It's pretty safe. It looks like that inside is even going to stay a bit more with it, while Lord Commander is now coming in to focus it. We see that Red Javelin has turned around to focus the new targets, being the enemy disciples. Okay, now this Marza may go down because it's just on 700 hit points. It's jumping out, but it may be too late. No, it's not. It's not. It jumps out. There has been no icon to interrupt its jump. There is also a repair bay here for this Marza and some of the repulsion. Oh, we already see here repulse frigates, so that the red-green team is going simply to repulse all of the enemy corvettes, rendering them completely useless. As you can see, there is a 7.5k radius where the repulsion simply pushes all the frigates away and they cannot do anything. They get stuck in the three-dimensional space and cannot neither attack or even properly disengage from this battle, leaving them as easy targets for those long-range frigates from the red player. Okay, we now see that Proletariat has managed to disengage from the repulsion and is now retreating. Probably trying to defend at his hangars, who have decent flag damage against Mathematico's corvettes. Mathematico is actually diving in on those hangars, not sure if that's a good idea, because he has a red player who could simply clean those hangars from a safe distance. We see now once again Marza dives in to bomb the planet and activates Savage Thrill for once again, and it's already level 5, so with along with this repulsion, it should be safe to bomb this planet and maybe even get level 6 for the missile barrage. Here we see some turrets doing nice job, because the repulsion doesn't work at them, so they can do some reliable damage against enemy team, especially those capital ships. We see now that this movement, it's not corvettes flying, it's the repulsion pushing them away from the green-red fleet. They try another dive, but they simply cannot engage due to the repulsion, and while corvettes do deal decent damage against Javelin frigates, they actually counter them in this situation. So Javelin frigates beat corvettes. Everything seems fine. You also see the other mother jumping in. It's just level 4, but it's healed once again, and the fleet overall is much bigger for the green-red team. We see those corvettes being pushed away once again. MGF team is still holding on this planet, pretty much thanks to all those good defenses they have constructed here. Now corvettes dive in on this Marza because there's no repulsion from this side, but Marzas can simply ignore the corvettes and fly to other repulsion frigates to safety, where enemy corvettes will not be able to do anything to it once Mathematical activates repulsion again, because right now he isn't. Okay, yeah, we see now corvettes being pushed away once again. Also see this planet taking some real damage from those Marzas. Minus 400, 500 hit points just in mere seconds, because it's a level 5 Marza, and we also have a level 6 Marza here, so the red team has now also, red player has now also the missile barrage, which will decimate any corvettes within 10 or 15 seconds if they fly into the range of that ability. And we see finally that the defenses of Proletari has crumbled under the constant fire of all of those Javelin frigates. We have here almost 70 Javelin frigates with 20 DPS on each of them. So that's a total 1400 DPS in the fleet of red player, even without any of his capital ships. We see that the fleet for Proletari has been completely wiped out. He's trying to adapt to the situation by getting his own Javelin frigates, but his entire fleet has been destroyed, and he now accounts only just for 18 corvettes and 8 Javelin frigates, while for the red player it's 75 Javelin frigates and more are coming in. While his advent ally, Lord Commander, is still building corvettes, but they will be of zero usage against those 20 DPS Javelins. It's no longer the repulsion which is going to kill those corvettes, it's pure DPS of those Javelin frigates who can single-handle any kind of ship, even the corvettes. At least when it's 80 Javelins against 50 corvettes, that's for sure. Here we see that Mathematico sends his first ships for the Cryo planet here in the middle. Oh, we see that Lord Commander is trying to adapt the strategy he saw from his opponent. He's now also building Iconus Guardians. I wonder if he also made the repulsion research, because Lord Commander is a lot less experienced player than Mathematico. He may not know that Iconus Guardian requires an extra tier 5 technology for the repulsion technology. We also see the first hero for Mathematical. I'm not sure if he forgot about it. Looks like he did make the technology, but he forgot that it spawns at his homeworld, so he didn't give any move orders to this ship yet. Okay, but now we have a serious battle here, and I don't see any repulsion activating from those Iconus Guardians. It's just the shield projection, but shield projection in itself is actually cost-inefficient usage of Iconus Guardians. It would be much better to simply build more corvettes. So unless we're going to see any repulsion on those Iconus Guardians, this was wasted money on those ships. Yes, as I feared, Lord Commander is not aware of that extra technology for Iconus Guardians to make them a strong support ship which can repulse and make all the corvettes useless. Right now he's using it for the shield projection, but he's also getting a few of flag frigates which will deal much better against enemy corvettes, but it's not everything what Mathematicos bring here, as he brings his Talion Savior to construct a star base at this planet. And we have also got a notification about a Titan. Is it Proletariat? Yes. Proletariat did lose his entire fleet, but he's trying to make his last stand by getting a Ragnarok Titan out in time. This may actually work because that inside still has to make his way through those two planets, and he also is getting a starbase for protection. This is not a test loyalist who get the free starbase on his homeworld, so he actually researched the starbase to provide an extra protection for his Titan. But I would say that this starbase is a bit of misplaced, because Javelis can pretty much attack from this side and snipe the Titan factory before Titan is out, and starbase will not be able to provide any cover for the Titan factory. Meanwhile, Lord Commander is trying to defeat the starbase. He is making another mistake by sending his flag frigates to shoot at the starbase, while flag frigates have really awful DPS against starbase, and he's also not utilizing the 4 banks on his flag frigates, so that he's mostly using only his frontal guns, while he should be targeting the corvettes. Lord Commander cannot prevent the starbase from being built, but he could try to deal as much damage to enemy fleet as possible and try to win time for his ally to get the Titan out. We also see that Mathematical Culture is really strong. He already pushed through those planets, and his culture is actually already pushing through this asteroid, so probably he went for culture on this starbase. We also have culture here. No, so it looks like he simply went for culture on his starbase. And we see now mass corvette fleets killing a carrier capital ship fleet for Lord Commander. Flag cannot save them, as Flag is a tanky unit against corvettes. But it has low DPS, so it cannot kill those corvettes. It would be much better simply to get your own corvettes. Yes, there is enemy repulsion, which would neglect all of Lord Commander's corvettes, but repulsion works just as well against flag frigates, so that's not a real excuse. While we also see that Lord Commander didn't get the repulsion technology for his Iconus Guardians yet, which could have saved his capital ships by simply repulsing his enemies away from his capital ships. We also see that that inside is moving further in. He's going for the agriculture planet first, not for the asteroid, which could have been a better choice because there are 2 military labs, and if he sniped those, he would throw Proletariat into a worse technological state. But he's going for the agriculture plant to snap his economy and his 3 trade ports. We see that MGF team is rotating on all fronts. Both teams have split up, so red is pushing pink, green is pushing purple. We also see that Proletariat is trying to help his ally by placing a starbase. However, this starbase is also somewhat misplaced because you want to protect those producing facilities. And here, the starbase can't help in any way to protect those factories. So it was a bit of a safer placement so that like this starbase actually gets built, since Mathematic is pushing really fast. However, overall, since also because test starbase in E4X gets an antimatter recharge upgrade even without the technology, and also the hull restore rate, placing starbase here and having some battle here would mean that the starbase could heal all the LA units in this area. While now this means for Lord Commander that he either needs to move his ships to this starbase and stop producing ships from those factories and bring ships from somewhere else, or he will simply risk that his fleet will be staying here, his reinforcements will be constructed here, but Mathematica will simply stay here and kill the reinforcements by the strategy of defeat in detail. We also see right now the Titan is almost finished. It's just a few more percent, and Proletariat will probably go for his attack of desperation. Or actually, he's not going to need to go for an attack since Titan's head is already jumping in, so it's perfect timing for his Titan to come out. He may come out even before Dead Inside jumps in to bomb his plant and get his Savage Frill, because I'm not sure if Proletariat did research his own Savage Frill, so it's in his own interest not to allow enemy to get any hits on this planet. The Titan is out, but let's not forget about the Mars level 6 with the missile barrage. Okay, so it looks like this entire fleet is waiting for a group jump. He's turning around, so I guess he scouted the Titan and he's probably going... Oh, there is no hyperlane, so it's either a jump for the homeworld or he's simply trying to bait Proletariat to jumping on him. Proletariat is now scouting his enemy. Proletariat's fleet is much weaker because he has 70 corvettes against 160 Javelin frigates. But it's not about having ships right now, since even if Proletariat had 500 corvettes, they would all die to the missile barrage. Much more important is if his Titan can kill Javelins with his AoE abilities before Marzas can kill his corvettes with the missile barrage, and before Javelins can snipe the Titan simply by their raw DPS. Because if they jump, their DPS will drop down from 20 to like 14 or 15. However, it's still 166 Javelin frigates and more coming in. Okay, so we have a jump in from the red player. Proletariat is somewhat out of position. He is now retreating, but this is bad news for him since his Titan is going to take a few hits from those Javelin frigates if red player does micro his Javelins correctly. He's going to get his Archon in right now and get them extra range. We also see... Do we see? Yes, we have 20% damage output on those Javelin frigates, so if that inside manages to bomb this plant, his Javelin frigates will deal not 20 DPS, but 24 DPS. Accounting with the size of his fleet, that would mean that his DPS of his Javelin frigates would be something like 3.5, 3.6 thousands damage per second. Because so we see right player is moving his ships for a better position so that his capital ships can bomb the planet without running into the starbase. What Proletari could have done is he could have researched a red button on his starbase and simply suicide his fleet and explode the enemy fleet since it's a larger fleet and level his Ragnarov. Here we see now the Javelin frigates coming in. Not sure if the thematic mode is the way to go. We see a lot of missiles launching. Probably at the Titan factory, if I see it correctly. Let's enable so that we see corvettes. Okay, so corvettes did go in. I think we also have now the missile barrage coming out. Yes, the corvettes are going down. All of the corvettes have been killed. Do we have any AoE ability from this Ragnarok shooting? I don't see the explosive shot, neither the scare shot, or not sure how is it called, but we see that this Titan is now under heavy fire from those Javelin frigates. And it's about to go down just within a few seconds from being under fire. And it's dead. This big gun is simply dead. Because red player had a lot of tiny guns, but in a really extensive quantity. We see that Lord Commander is trying to come to his ally for assistance, but he is too late as entire fleet from Proletari is dead. It's somewhat of a poor team play here from the MJF team, as Proletari should have simply retreated with his fleet behind his starbase, allow that inside to get a few shots at the starbase, even if it dies. But anyway, at least now there is no missile barrage on this Marza, as it was already used, it's on cooldown. But we have a second missile barrage on this Marza. So this Marza could simply use a second missile barrage and kill the entire fleet of Lord Commander with a single ability. And we see a missile barrage. Those are all those missiles coming out. You can see the hit points of corvettes simply dropping in no time, and they simply vanish from this game. 100 corvettes vanished in a few seconds, and even those black frigates who are actually pretty tanky are going to die to missile barrage, as missiles keep coming out from this Marza. And 2 fleets have been destroyed with 2 abilities. We also see that Proletari has written that he's abandoning Salopia. Probably 2 Marzas, even though they are really strong at bombing. Yes, they are not going to bomb the planet as fast out as Proletari has abandoned it. Proletari has been defeated. We see an assault from Mathematical here. There are mines coming in. I'm not sure how advent mines work in E4X, but apparently they are now chasing forever those corvettes. And they are dealing some massive AoE damage. And they're not exploding, which is usually the case in vanilla. So it looks like those mines are going to stay there forever, simply killing those ships. Unless Mathematical gets a scout to kill the mines. This is actually funny because Mathematical could have lost like, what is it? 150 corvettes on mines. Still can, because here are a few more mines. And they are chasing. Mathematical is doing his best trying to split his forces, but I fear those corvettes are going to explode. Because he is losing his first corvettes to those minefields, because he has no means to clean the minefield, and yes, there's some massive explosions. This plant right now. So we were at he lost 100 corvettes. He lost 100 corvettes to those mines, and in vanilla, those mines do chase your ships, but at least they explode when they kill the ships. Here we had like a few mines chasing the corvettes and simply killing 100 corvettes and even not exploding. So that was like really strong mine usage on Lord Commander. Sadly, it's too late for him to save the game since Proletariat is already dead and it's 2v1. Lord Commander did manage to kill like half of the Green's fleet, but he has no fleet of his own any longer since he lost his fleet to missile barrages from that inside. And we also should consider that those 2 missile barrages will probably recharge in no time soon. Okay, actually, there is a jump inhibitor and those ships cannot jump, so Lord Commander could place a mine here while those ships are trying to jump, and that would probably kill the fleet. But as we see, no protection on this homeworld, and there is like no winning card for Lord Commander to draw now. There are no Novelift cannons for Lord Commander who with which he could try to snipe some homeworld. He's not going for some siege frigates, or some mass siege frigates through the wormhole to try to snipe a homeworld. So it's more of last stand for Lord Commander before UBN takes the victory in those quarterfinals. And we see now Red is about to jump Lord Commander's homeworld. So was Mathematico. Lord Commander is trying to chase his Iconus Guardians, snipe a few of them, but this all matters little as a massive fleet of test rebels are now jumping on the Advent Loyalist homeworld to cleanse it from any alien presence. Or at least cleans it from any Advent Rebel presence which is not green, because Mathematico is about to jump in right now as well. We see Lord Commander is now trying to get a hunger. Probably he will try to get some mines out as well, but mines have dispatching time, and I'm pretty sure that those Chalice frigates will be able to kill the mines even before they activate. And we also see that he didn't even manage to construct the hangars, since that inside did rush for the constructor bot and kill those hangars, so he didn't even want to risk any mines coming out. And now this capital planet is being bombarded by two Marsas with their radiation shells. We see some massive Javelin splits here in the background. And more radiation bombs coming at the surface of the planet. You see now there is Lord Commander jumping in right now, making his final stand at his homeworld, but he's outnumbered, outclassed. There are simply like 5 Javelis per ship of Lord Commander, and those Javelis have around 26 DPS. They simply... Purple ships simply vanish when they got under fire from those red Javelis frigates. And let's see, we have 230 Javelis frigates for red player. You also see this Mars is level 9 now, and this one is level 8 from killing all the ships. And we have our winners. UBN has won against MGF. Let's give a quick look at our stats screen. We see that Mathematica was far ahead economy-wise. It looks like, let's see if there was any feed. There was no feed. So actually that insight was lower on income than Lord Commander and Proletari. And like here, the total income for the MGF team was 150, and for the UBN team it was just 170, so it was just a 20 credits difference. Not all that much, but from here on the red-green team has pushed, and therefore the income for the MGF team did crumble more and more. Yes, we can see that here was a major battle, and the UBN team had just a few little more ships than the MGF team, but it was enough to completely annihilate their fleets on several occasions. And that's it. We have our winners in this quarterfinals game. Thanks everyone for participating, and also for listening to my audio podcast in the first few minutes, or rather first 10-15 minutes, I don't know. See you on other games.